look at. Number one, again, I always say that, start with you. So by that I mean, start with when something happens in your home and that it's something you feel that you need to discipline, ask yourself, what do I want my child to learn? This is a learning moment. It's not about punishment. It's not about a power struggle. This is not about who gets the last word. It's really about telling myself, what do I want my child to learn? What do I want them to value? And if they've done something that is not correct, how do I want to teach them to mold it and shape this behavior differently without making them feel bad about it, without making them shamed about it, right? Really looking at, my child doesn't understand something, or my child needs to mold a certain behavior. How am I going to teach them a different way of acting, a different way of reacting? That is your goal. It's not about fixing this moment. It's really about looking long term, looking at the big picture. What do I want my child to learn? What is really the true lesson being taught in this moment? Like we said, children learn by example. So the example that you set is really going to be the reflection of what they are going to learn. So in the moment where they do make mistakes, the way you react is the way they will react themselves about their own mistakes or about other people's mistakes. Because you want to be able to parent from that bigger picture. You want to be able to tell yourself, not how do I manage this right now, and it's a power struggle and who has the last word. This is not about our egos and a battle of egos. This is really about looking at, what do I want my child to learn long term? So if you can get into that space, and again, you can get there when you have taken care of the self, when you have taken care of the relationship, you can enter that a lot more easily. So you enter that space by telling yourself, what do I want my child to value? What kind of behavior do I want to mold? What do I want to see for them long term? And it's really not about just fixing the moment, and fixing it out of fear, for instance, will make it go away pretty quickly, but at the same time, it tags on a lot of other things that this child will have to undo later. You want to look at the incidents that came up, that mistake, whatever that is, as an opportunity for your child to learn a valuable lesson, a valuable way of being, a valuable behavior, a valuable belief. This is your moment. It got created for you, and this is our opportunity to be able to help shape and mold for something long term, right? Not just in the moment where we, could either yell or instill fear or go into the power struggle, and either it satisfies us because we get our frustration out, or it causes fear within a child, so in the moment it gets fixed. But long term, we've lost this opportunity that could have been such a great learning opportunity to help mold our child. Again, remember what we said, this is a journey with you and your child. You are together in this journey to become the highest version of yourselves. So you really want to get honest with yourself as well when you are, demanding something from your child. You want to know, am I showing up that same way myself? Right? If you want your child to be patient, ask yourself, am I patient? Do I show up as being patient? Not just to them, but in a car, for example, when you're on the road, am I showing patience? If you are expecting your child to be patient, you also have to ask yourself, am I being patient? Or my favorite, when parents tell a child not to yell, but they themselves are yelling, saying that, I told you not to yell in this house, right? So again, what are we doing? You're actually just saying words, but your action is contradicting what you're saying, and your child will pick up on the action. They're not going to pick up on your words. So again, this authenticity that you have to have yourself about who you are and how you show up, that's why that piece is so important when you want to enter the disciplining piece for your child, because they will learn by your example, and they will reflect to you what they are seeing. So make sure that what you're expecting of them is something that you expect out of yourself, and that you show up that way. The second thing we want to look at is boundaries. And what I mean by boundaries is you are not your child's friend. You can be friendly with your child, but at the end of the day, you are not your child's friend. A child needs a parent, because when they feel that you are parenting them, then they feel grounded and they feel safe. And that's extremely important for a child to feel safe so that they can thrive. Because what happens is that if you have certain conversations with your children or in front of your children, even if, let's say, you're on the phone with a friend of yours and then you're having certain conversations about topics that are not appropriate for your child's age or emotion, then they listen to this. They don't feel safe again, right? There's a boundary that gets crossed that doesn't allow them to see you as that authority, and all it does is make them feel very unsafe. And then what happens later on in life, when a parent becomes this child's friend, if that's how the parenting has been all along for them, the child actually doesn't turn to their parents for solutions, for instance, because they feel almost as if they're an equal. They don't look at the parent as this authority that I can turn to and that they will have answers for me, or they will help me find the answers, or guide me as to where to go to find the answers, or be there for me and support me while I'm finding these answers. So again, crossing these boundaries, you might think that in the moment you're a cool parent, but in fact, it's causing a huge disservice to your child. So I can't say this often enough, but you are not your child's friend, and yes, it's okay to be friendly with your child, but it is not okay for them to be your friend. When we talk about boundaries, we're going to want to look at what kind of rules we have in our home. So we're going to look at set rules and flexible rules, and then we're also going to look at consequences. That's coming up next. The last thing we want to establish when we are creating an environment in our home is that we want to have leverage. By leverage, what I mean is that you don't give your child absolutely everything just because they're breathing. There are certain things that you want to keep as privileges that your child has to earn to be able to get. For example, watching TV or iPad time, or getting a toy, prizes, certain things like that. You want to have leverage in your home so that you can use these privileges when you're trying to mold behavior and you're trying to find something motivational for them to do so. So either by winning a privilege or by losing a privilege. So that it's important that you do have leverage in your home.